Hi, what if Starlink is not just an internet from space? What if Starlink is becoming something much bigger? Not just a product, not just a SpaceX side business, but the first truly telecom global company in history. And if that's true, then investors may be looking at Starlink in the wrong way. For decades, every telecom company on Earth followed the same playbook: build towers, dig trenches, lay fiber, and then charge customers every month to access their network. AT&T, Verizon, Vodafone, Airtel, China Mobile. Different companies, same business model. Because telecommunications has always been local. Every country had its own network, its own regulations, its own infrastructure, and its own telecom giants. But what if that entire model is starting to change? Because while the world was focused on 5G towers and spectrum licenses, SpaceX quietly built something completely different. Not another telecom network, a network above all telecom networks. To understand Starlink, we need to understand why telecom became such a powerful business. Historically, telecom companies controlled one incredible valuable thing: access. Want a phone call? Use the network. Want internet? Use the network. Want connectivity? Use the network. And building those networks was not easy. Companies spent billions of dollars laying fiber, building towers, or buying spectrum and maintaining those equipments and securing government approval in the form of licenses. And costs created enormous barrier to entry. The result was simple. Many regions ended up with only one or two realistic options. The business worked because infrastructure was scarce. If you controlled the wires, you controlled the customer. If you controlled the towers, you controlled the customers. The entire telecom industry was built around one assumption: connectivity must come from the ground. But Starlink challenges the ground-based assumption. Most analysts compare Starlink to telecom companies. I think that is the wrong comparison because Starlink is not competing like traditional telecom companies. It behaves more like a vertically integrated technology platform. Think about what SpaceX actually controls. SpaceX built the rockets. SpaceX launched the satellites. SpaceX manufactured these terminals. And SpaceX operates the network. That level of vertical integration is extremely rare and it collects a powerful feedback loop. Need more capacity? Launch more satellites. Need lower cost? Improve launch efficiency. Need coverage somewhere new? Deploy infrastructure in orbit. Traditional telecom companies do not have the same luxury. Every expansion usually means permits, construction, contractors, and years of investment. But Starlink bypasses much of that process. And the biggest advantage of all, telecom companies operate inside borders. Starlink operates above them. And if you think that sounds like an exaggeration, listen carefully to how Elon describes Starlink's position versus traditional communications network. Because this is where Starlink stops looking like a normal internet company and starts looking like something much bigger.
And then Starlink, it's like, well, if you've got a rocket that can fly a lot, what do you fly on it? And so the Starlink team has built from nothing an entire global internet system. And it's the first high bandwidth global internet system ever to exist. And I actually think that down the road, it'll probably be, I think it'll probably do a majority of the internet. In fact, I think it might end up doing over 90% of all internet traffic on Starlink.
Now think about what he just said. Most companies are fighting for market share inside a country. Starlink is building coverage across the entire planet. That is a fundamentally different strategy. For most of the internet history, people generated internet traffic. Humans watched videos. Humans sent emails. Humans searched on Google. Humans browsed websites. But AI changes this equation. Soon it will not just be humans using the internet, it will be AI agents. It will be robots, autonomous vehicles, or drones, factories. machine to machine communications, and system talking to systems 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But this story gets even bigger when we hear Elon talk about AI traffic directly. Because if AI traffic starts to dwarf human traffic, then the investment thesis changes completely. At that point, connectivity is not about people watching Netflix. It becomes one of the biggest bottlenecks in the entire AI economy. Let's hear it directly from him.
Cloudflare just recently mentioned that they, based on the current growth, they think probably AI traffic will be 1,000 times more than human internet traffic in 5 years.
That statement should make every investor pause for a moment. Because if AI traffic grows anywhere close to what Elon is describing, then connectivity becomes one of the most important layers in the AI stack. And by the end of this video, I think you will see why Starlink may have more in common with NVIDIA than with Verizon. This is where some simple paper napkin math becomes useful. Let us not assume AI traffic becomes 1000 times larger. Let us be a little bit more conservative. Assume AI traffic becomes only 100 times larger than human traffic. Not 1000, just 100. That creates an enormous demand for bandwidth. Now imagine billions of AI agents performing tasks continuously. Many of them may not consume massive bandwidth, but collectively, the demand becomes staggering. The same way Nvidia benefit from when the world suddenly needed a lot of computing, a lot of GPUs, Starlink could benefit when the world suddenly needs more connectivity. And this is the part I think most investors are missing. Most telecom companies are country scale businesses. Starlink is trying to become a planet scale infrastructure. Think about that for a moment. Ships, aircrafts, remote communities, military operations, energy projects, mining operations, disaster response, connected vehicles, and all future autonomous systems, future AI agents, all potentially connected through one network architecture. Not a US telecom company, not a European telecom company, not an Asian telecom giant, a global one. The value here is not monthly internet subscriptions. The value may be becoming part of world's digital infrastructure. Google organizes information. Nvidia powers computation. Starlink could eventually move information. So when most people look at Starlink, they see satellite internet. I think the bigger story is what Starlink could become. The telecom industry was built on controlling infrastructure on the ground. Starlink is proving that connectivity does not need to necessarily start from the ground. And as AI systems, robots, autonomous vehicles, and intelligent machines generate more and more traffic, the companies moving this information may become just as important as the companies creating it. The question is not whether Starlink can compete with telecom companies. The question is whether Starlink is actually creating a new category in itself, a category where the first global telecommunications platforms wins. And if that is true, the market may still be dramatically underestimating what Starlink could become over the next decade. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit the like button. Share this video with someone who still thinks Starlink is just a satellite internet company. And if you enjoy breaking down complex technologies, business models, and investment opportunities using simple paper napkin math, make sure you subscribe to Smart Tech Investing. You can also follow me on X at Smart Tech Money. I share more investing ideas, technology insights, and market observations there between videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.